Right, those last few steps. So the enemy moves, it fires, and it can see us. It's now just a case of changing its behavior when it can see us and when it can't. So jump into the code. It's the same file again. So we have spent a good bit of time in this one. We're really just going to focus on these two functions now, the normal behavior and the chasing behavior. I'm happy with the check targeting cone and the check line of sight, so I'm going to minimize them, and just for the sake of, actually that's okay, there's plenty of space there. We are going to add some extra variables, so I was going to put these functions up closer to the top just so it's all together, but not to worry. So what we need to do, what we need to store, is the behavior that we want the enemy to have normally and the behavior that we want it to have when it's chasing us. The issue is that how do we actually store that? So if we went public and then what? And what sort of information is it? It's not a float, it's certainly not a number, and it's not a full game object. If we just have a quick look at it, so with the enemy selected, we've got this simple enemy movement script. So in theory we could store a simple enemy movement. So we could go public simple enemy movement and make that. But the issue with that one would be that when we came to put the same enemy AI on this one, it wouldn't work because this enemy uses the complex movement. So we wouldn't be able to deactivate that without writing an entire new script that just matched that scenario. So it's a bit awkward, but there is a way around it. And it's been hiding in plain sight the whole time up here at the top. So this mono behavior is an object, is a class, is a type of information that every bit of script we've ever made is built on top of, which means everything we build is actually a mono behavior. So we can use that instead. So we can put mono behavior and then give it a name. So I'm going to store my normal component as a variable. And then underneath it, I'm going to make another one. And this one's going to be my chasing component. And that now means that I can store both of those components and basically do this in code. So here we have them both, and I can untick them to turn them off and back on again. And we're going to simulate that in code. So when the player, my mouse is clicking twice every time, when the enemy can see us, we can toggle the firing on and the movement off. When it can't, we go the other way. And we're going to do that in code. And you can see here in the enemy AI script that it's already updated. Mine's already got them plugged in, so that must be from a failed video from before that it's actually just kept them in. But yours will probably look like that. So with the script saved, your enemy AI script will update and we can plug them in. So the auto fire script is our chasing behavior. So I'm going to plug that in there. And the simple enemy movement is my normal component. So I'm going to slot that in as well. And these are the two components we're going to toggle on and off in the code. So let's go back to it. So now in the normal behavior, instead of just spamming this message, we are going to take the normal component and turn it on by going dot enabled equals true. And we're going to turn the chasing component off by setting that to false. And you've probably guessed the next step. We're going to copy those two, paste them into the chasing behavior and just flip them. So instead of having the normal behavior on and the chasing one off, we're going to have the chasing one on and the normal one off. And that's far more in line with how the enemy should behave. So I'm going to save that, I'm going to go to Unity, I'm going to hit play. If we move into sight of the enemy, you can see it stops moving. And because I've still got the enemy selected, we can see it over in the inspector as well. If I walk past it, it will go back to its normal simple movement, and then when it turns around it sees me again and starts firing. So that's just about perfect. The only thing I would say is it would be nice if it faced towards me when it was shooting. And we've done that before, we've done that 3 times now, using the trigonometry to make an object face the way it's going. We just need to adapt the maths ever so slightly. So back in the script, not quite sure what happened there. Back in the script, I'm going to jump to my simple enemy movement. We could grab it from the complex one, I'm going to copy those 3 lines of code that we used to make it face where it was going, and inside the AI, I think my mouse is just broken, keeps double clicking. Inside the AI, when it's chasing us, we also want it to rotate to face. So it's just a case of figuring out where it should be looking instead of the endpoint. Endpoint doesn't exist in this file, but we do have this search target. So we could do search target.transform.position, and that will make the direction from the enemy to us, which means it will rotate to face us, it will disable its normal component, and it will activate its auto fire. So let's save that up, hit play, and we have everything in place we now need. So it's almost a bit too good. This guard is like an aimbot, especially with the speed increase I've given my bullets. Yeah, it's just battering me. It is now a stealth game. I would need to dodge around it properly. And that one shot me in the back. That's terrible. Okay, let's add it to the other guard. So this guard's patrolling, but is a bit thick. So let's give them an update. Let's give them some AI. Going to put the enemy AI onto it. I'm going to plug the complex movement in as their normal component. I'm going to put the auto fire in as the chasing component, and I'm going to set their search target to be the player. And hit play. So let's actually be stealthy about it. This one, when it turns its back on us, we can creep around. And let's try and get the attention of that one. So it can see us, it goes out, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, so that's all. Whoa! He did me there. I wasn't expecting them to turn around. We should name them. I'm going to call that one Bob. Bob just killed me. We've got Doris down here. She's killed me enough times. But yeah, that's all working. We have a stealth game. There are some slight issues. We'll see. I might even throw a bonus video out there that fixes things like this, where it snaps back to its normal rotation. But you can now piece together the extra bits that would turn this into a full game, such as menu systems, timers and things, by using the other resources available to you. Have fun.